This meeting of the Finance Committee to order. The date is August 10th. The time is 3:01. With us today, we have Alderman Bug, we have Alderman Warman, myself, Alderman Franco, and special guest Alderman Donnell. First item on the agenda is 23-0599, approval of the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on July 27, 2023. Do we have a motion? So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Madam Clerk, anybody from the public wishing to speak?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. First item is 23-0598, an ordinance deleting certain property from redevelopment project area for the City of Aurora Tax Increment Financing District Number 3, necessary for the creation of the Cross Street Tax Increment Financing District.
Good afternoon, Chairman Franco, committee members, Trevor Dick, Assistant Director, the Mayor's Office of Economic Development. As Chairman Franco said, this ordinance deletes the future Cross Street TIF District parcels from the existing TIF District Number 3. The creation of the Cross Street TIF District involves a multi-step process involving the approval of the attached ordinance, as well as the adoption of 3 separate ordinances that will be brought to the council at a future meeting in likely September. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Anybody from the committee wishing to have a question or comment?
Trevor, we got the one map there, which is 404 on that first thing. Do we have a map that's a little more, I think they mentioned this, someone mentioned this. That
On
some
the
of
August
these
8th?
documents are old.
Oh, okay. In the old maps?
Yeah, something, we got all this fantastic technology. Can we get a map that's more up to date and will show a little bit more what we're dealing with?
Of course. Yes, I'd be happy to update that and have it in the packet by the time it reaches Cal.
Yeah, how old is it? I'm trying to see how old this thing is.
And I would concur with Alderman Bug, because when I looked at this, I said, well, we're going old school. So, yeah, if we could get something a little bit shinier, penny type of thing, it's easier to read, maybe that would be a great idea.
Of course, I apologize, yes.
No, that's.
Oh, no problem. I think it'll help our people at COW.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Hearing none, we have a motion? Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one is 23-0600, an ordinance making minor amendments to the redevelopment plan and project for the City of Aurora proposed Rivervine Tax Increment Financing District.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Once again, Trevor Dick, Assistant Director, the Mayor's Office of Economic Development. As we discussed at the public hearing on August 8th, this ordinance is a minor amendment to the redevelopment plan and project for the proposed Rivervine TIF District. The amendment is a reduction from the statutory 23 years to 20 years. Reducing the term of the Rivervine TIF District will not impede redevelopment of the West Bank project. It also shows the city's continuing cooperation and willingness to work with our other taxing districts. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Bug, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is 23-0500, a resolution authorizing the purchase of one 2026E1 Cyclone 95 rear mount platform aerial with $30,000 garage setup fee for a total of $1,731,568.
Good afternoon, committee and chair. I'm Ed Anslow. I'm Assistant Chief of the Aurora Fire Department. As you stated, I'm here to seek approval to start the process to obtain a new ladder truck for Truck 6, which is housed at Fire Station 8. This will be a 95-foot rear mount aerial platform. We will be replacing Truck 6 in 2026, but need to place the order now due to long build times. However, payment will not be due until delivery in 2026. The current Truck 6 is a 2012. This will be becoming a reserve unit replacing our current reserve truck 61, which is a 1998, and is becoming difficult to service. Equipment Service has recommended this replacement. We will be using the Houston-Galveston Cooperative Purchasing Program to obtain a 7.3% discount. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I have a question. So the 2012 model that we have now, we figure it's going to get us to 2026. I mean, we know we got to order it early because of lead time, so we figure
Yes.
that should be comfortable getting the 2026 when this new one will be delivered, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. And then, we had talked about this in the past, ever since the end of COVID, with the delay times and supply chains. Do we see, and I see that's 33 to 34 months, do we see that getting better at all, or is it still like hanging in that same range?
Unfortunately, I have not seen it getting better. If anything, it might be still extending just
Okay.
a hair for fire service equipment,
Okay.
fire engines and ambulances.
So we have to have a lot of foresight going forward on anything we order, obviously.
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I do have one question. What happens to the truck once the new one arrives? Is that decommissioned and sold off, or is it sent to another station? Or
So truck 61 will be donated to Southern Kane, just kind of like our two engines that we're purchasing shortly. It will be housed at Southern Kane Training Association, which is where we train all of our recruits and do most of our classes. It's up off of Butterfield, which saves wear and tear on our vehicles.
No.
in the long
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just got
Alderman Buck?
a small comment. Yeah, of course, we're always trying to look at, our funds and everything, and I know exactly how much these cost because I used to joke with Dr. Caputo. We used to bring in the scouts into finance. It was about 9 years ago, and we said a hook and ladder. You said to the scouts, guess how much it was, and it was 990,000. It was like just short of $1 million, and they would guess. And now we're at 1.7
That is correct.
in 9 years. That's wow. So that's how much they cost. And you gotta buy them. You gotta have them. They're important. Just ask Hawaii. So appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing
Motion to
none.
approve.
We have a
Second.
motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is 23-0592, and this is a resolution pertaining to the redevelopment project involving Todd and Lincoln Schools. We have 3 members of the committee present today, which is our quorum. However, Alderman Warman has previously recused himself from all matters involving this project. Regardless of whether Alderman Warman leaves the room for this discussion, which would drop the committee below quorum, or simply did not participate in a vote, the committee will not be able to take any action on this item since 3 affirmative votes will, while it is assembled with quorum, are required for this committee to take any action whatsoever. Unfortunately, this is a time-sensitive item that requires council consideration this month. For that reason, this item will instead appear on the Committee of the Whole agenda next Tuesday as new business, and COW can take whatever action it deems appropriate. Questions or comments about that? Okay, then we will move on to 23-0603, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute a not-to-exceed agreement in the amount of $55,500 between Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly Incorporated and the City of Aurora for professional design services for the Airport Snow Removal Equipment Acquisition Project, ARR-5103 SRE.
Good afternoon, Chairman, committee members. Steve Andrus with the Aurora Airport. What you have before you is, as you just heard, is a not-to-exceed agreement in the amount of $55,500. It's an agreement between Crawford Murphy Tilly and the City of Aurora for design services, which typically when I bring something like this before you, it has to do with a project. In this case, the City of Aurora received a grant under the bipartisan infrastructure law to the tune of several $1,000s. What you see before you today is for snow removal equipment in the amount of $1,730,000 estimated. But essentially, what this amounts to is it's grant funds that are being administered through the State Division of Aeronautics, which is, again, our typical way we fund our projects. The money comes from the bipartisan infrastructure law, but being that it's administered through the State Division of Aeronautics, we're required to use our aviation consultant that had been previously approved through the Division of Aeronautics. But the bottom line here is that we're paying 5% of $1.7 million, or a maximum of 5%, $86,500. $55,500 of that probably would go to the consultant, but it's still a fantastic opportunity for the city. So I thought that was clear in the memo, but if you have any questions, try to answer those.
Well, I thank you for clearing that up, because I was not aware the 55,000 was part of the 86, but you're saying that it is.
Correct.
Right,
Yes.
'cause that, yeah, I didn't realize.
That would go towards our local share payment,
Right.
which typically it does. Quite often, though, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but regardless, our maximum payment with regard to this project or purchase is $86,500.
Questions or comments from the committee?
Do we have photos of these, our front-end loader, tandem plow truck, and the three pieces?
What's being requested or what's being replaced?
No, what we're requesting, what we're going to be.
No, we've tentatively specified the equipment we're looking for, but at this point, it's going to go through an open bidding process, so we're not sure if it's going to be a John Deere or some other brand. So what you have, I think, and if you don't, I apologize, but you've got those three pieces of equipment
Yes.
labeled, but there's really no specific
Okay.
specifications shown for those.
Okay.
Or no photos.
I don't know if we could throw
It's got to go out to
a
bid.
generic one up there, so we just kind of saw what it looks like. Or like you said, maybe the old one, I don't know how poor of condition the ones we're replacing.
One thing I'm not absolutely clear on, and maybe purchasing and finance can perhaps help me out here. Typically, with our projects, we pay our share, again, through mostly the consultant's fees, and then anything else we get reimbursed. If we don't pay up to that amount, or if we pay over that with the consulting, we'll get some of that back. In this case, we're required to purchase the equipment and then get reimbursed through this type of funding. I don't know, that might just be an accounting thing for purchasing or finance, but
Yes, we'll just need to make sure that we account for that in the budget. And if we're going to expend city funds and then be reimbursed after the fact, we'll need to make sure that we have the budgetary authority for it and account for it. But it's not complicated. We handle grants like that all the time.
so I would also ask the question, this, again, will go out to bid. Once it does go out to bid and we have low bidders, do we come back to council for approval to make that expenditure? Yes. We do?
Yes, we will need to.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions, comments from the committee? Hearing none, do we have a
So
motion?
moved.
We have a
Second.
motion by Alderman Buggs, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve. Next one is 23-0621, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute various contracts to purchase and/or rent holiday lighting decorations for use throughout the downtown and various wards in an amount not to exceed $132,000.
Hello, Jason Bauer, Assistant Director of Public Works. So what you have before you right now is what our game plan is for the holiday decorations in the downtown this year. As you know, Aurora Downtown, the non-for-profit organization, they historically have taken a lead doing the different decorations on light poles. The city staff, we put out the evergreen reindeer and we light poles, we put wreaths up, and we do all of those activities. Starting earlier this year, We had a committee that got together, and we've been going over exactly what's out there and where we have identified that there's a need for more decorations. And we spent probably a good 6-7 months just meeting over and over again and refining the game plan. We want to do improved wayfinding signage, and we looked for all the different areas where we thought the downtown was lacking. And our goal is to really tie all this in with Chris Kindle. With downtown now, as you know, Chris Kindle brought in about 150,000 people last year that may or may not have come down to the downtown. And we want to draw them into the downtown more, so we really want to connect what's going on there with the downtown. So we're looking at wayfinding signage and really just putting a lot more effort into what we did in years past. It's been a while since we've had any real expenditures to supplement what we already have. So we put a game plan together, and we were thinking that over the course of 2-3 years, we would start adding a little bit here, a little bit there. But with the money that was set aside for downtown decorations that was to be used over the summer, there was a pretty good surplus. So we thought it was a good opportunity to use those excess funds and make that investment now and get all that going. And really, so we've got all that ready to go. We've been looking at different vendors, and I laid out before you basically where this $132,000 would go. And I attached a number of exhibits that show what we're looking at. So just really briefly, the green spaces, these are some large areas that we'd like to accent, would be by the Fire Museum, the corner of New York and River, the northwest corner of New York and River, the green space at DSC, and then last year we had Hope out in front of City Hall. This year we would look to do something different. So that area, we're looking to just rent a display, whereas those others, we're looking to make an actual investment and purchase some that the city would store and maintain year-round. All of those, the examples are included, and we've also got some ideas for renting projectors that we're going to be working with Leland to project like snowflakes up on the building. We're buying that equipment through an existing co-op that we found with purchasing. And throughout the downtown, we've also had a number of like spheres that's made by a local company called Hazelton Carpentry. So we're going to work with them to get some more of those made. And then all of the rentals and purchases would be coming from B&B Services. They're out of, I think, Wheeling. And we actually were able to go to their showroom and see these pieces. So that's a lot different than just ordering it off a catalog and being afraid that it's going to come from somewhere and be shipped and missing pieces, and then we're just going to be sitting there while we're trying to get all our orders in with everybody else, get all of this set aside so that we've got it available, it shows up on time, and we can actually use it this year.
Mr. Alexander, you have a comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Alex Alexandru, Chief Management Officer. Thank you, Jason. The staff that we've assembled sort of, we jokingly refer to Mr. Bauer as our chairman of the holiday committee, holiday decoration committee. So the chairman has done a great job, and I think for COW, they'll have the map to put up and have some examples. But the real end goal here is to attract people throughout the holiday season, early and often. The design of this will offer people a number of great photo opportunities, and also direct people to move around the downtown to help attract people to bars and restaurants, the museums, and other attractions in the downtown. The other major advantage, I think Jason touched on it, is the connectivity and the wayfinding to Chris Kindle Market to the downtown. And so we have some additional exciting opportunities that have never been done before. For example, we reached out to Waubonsie Community College, and they are going to add a tremendous number of holiday decorations to the downtown campus. And we're also working very, very well, very closely with the Aurora Downtown Group to coordinate. And really, it was filling gaps, but also creating sort of a theme. And I think the communications folks, Clayton's group, they're going to be working on that, and we'll be getting that out fairly soon. There'll be QR codes that will direct people. We've learned from last year's Kindle Market the enhancements, so there will definitely be much more of a connectivity from Kindle Market to the downtown. And some of these, I think we need to show folks, maybe at COW, some of the examples of what we're either renting or purchasing. And this is going to be a multi-year effort, so in the budget, you will see for '24 funding designated for this type of endeavor. So we're looking for, I guess, continued ways to attract people to our downtown.
So I have a couple of questions. So Wabansi, you brought up Wabansi, their decorations on their dime.
Absolutely.
And then when I read this, it just kind of struck me when you said downtown area various wards. Well, I know there's various wards downtown, but it hit me like, would we ever consider, and I know it's not budgeted for this year, but where our corridors coming into, the various corridors, would be Orchard or 59 or whatever road it is, doing some decorations, not like you do downtown, obviously, but just welcoming them in. Ever think about doing that, gateways type of thing?
That has been a future consideration. We would, of course, discuss with the appropriate ward alderman, look at potentially a partnership with ward funds as well as other city funds.
Okay.
But that's, we know a lot of businesses outside of the downtown do decorating themselves, but gateways is an idea we've talked about, but that would be a future.
I just
Future
thought, I just hit me when I saw the various wards. I'm like, that's downtown, but, maybe we want to do.
If you think about the events that have popped up over the years, the successful Cocoa Crawl, the first nights that come through the holiday season, the winter lights. So this is really, our goal is to make this a seasonal holiday destination.
Questions or comments from the committee?
Yeah, just, I don't know, the other members, the B&B documents did not open.
Oh, they did not? Okay. I will definitely
At least
check
on
into that.
mine.
Yeah, it's in here.
Yeah, there.
You're right, it says unexpected. I think it's probably a Granicus here.
Okay. It's on both, the purchases and the rental items. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last one is 23-0367, an ordinance deleting certain property from redevelopment project area for the city of Aurora West River Area Tax Increment Financing District Number 5.
Thank you very much, Chairman Franco. Once again, Trevor Dick, Assistant Director in Mayor's Office of Economic Development. This item is very similar to a previous item this afternoon. This is an ordinance deleting the properties that would be the creation of TIF District Number 5, the deletion of parcels to create the new River Vine TIF District. As I mentioned earlier for the previous item, there's multiple steps involved in creating a new TIF district. This is one of those steps. We'll also be bringing forward 3 ordinances at a future council meeting. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else to come before the Finance Committee this afternoon? Hearing none, do we have a
Oh.
motion to adjourn?
Actually,
I'm sorry, do we
Chairman?
have something else? Did I miss?
we have
Oh,
just a introduction to an item that we'd like to speak to you about, if that's
I
okay.
think you had told me about that. I apologize for forgetting about that.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right, good afternoon once again. Trevor Dick, Assistant Director in Mayor's Office of Economic Development. I'm joined today by Gio Santana, our Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. We're working as a team with Julie Franchino, our grant writer, Jim Burchell, our Chief Public Facilities Officer, and Derek Winston, our Director of Public Facilities. We're in the process of applying for an OSLAD grant, Open Space Lands Acquisition and Development Grant, through the Illinois Department of Natural Resources to help renovations and improvements of Garfield Park. We're in the process of working on the budget for improvements, as well as working with our colleagues in community services to collect community input on what improvements should be at that park. Part of the OSLAD application includes a resolution authorizing us to apply for the grant. With the grant application being due August 31st, we would like to formally present this item at the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, August 15th, and City Council on August 22nd. We've been looking for opportunities for quite some time to enhance this property, and therefore, this is why this is bringing forward with such urgency at this time. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So this is an information only, obviously, thing that will go to the COW. Okay. Any questions or comments from the committee?
I mean, I just assume everything will be laid out at COW. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there'll be a whole draft map, description, and the like. We just, the deadline made it so that we have to do it, I believe, submit it before the end of August, correct?
Correct.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you for that information, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, if there's nothing else, we come before the
Motion to adjourn.
Finance Committee. We have a motion to adjourn by Alderman Mormon. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And we are adjourned at 3:26. Thank you.